If you're an agent that maybe doesn't like doing the cold calls as much and wants to use AI to enhance the current process that you do, we're never trying to replace, enhance really is what we're going for, then give us a shot. Because essentially what we're doing is cutting down a lot of the brunt manual aspects of combing down essentially who are likely to sell and list with you, or what's a good deal opportunity for your buyers. So that just leaves you to a handful of properties or clients for you to reach out to, as opposed to hundreds or thousands of leads that you have to cold reach out to.
You're pulling it from the data, not from like if they're using ChatGPT and other things like that. It can be inaccurate, it can hallucinate.
They're not directly hooked up to the same data sources that we have access to, so it's supercharged. You could do some of the things on those platforms, but you're not going to get the holistic picture that you can get with ours.
Welcome to AI Advantage. I'm JMan, and this episode is brought to you by our founding partners, Wise Agent Subi and the CE Shop. These are the companies that believe in us and what we're building here. We're grateful to have them in our corner.
AI is not replacing you, but the agent who uses it will. This is AI Agent Advantage. One expert, one tool, one thing you can implement today. With your host, JMan.
What if you never had to cold call again? Not because the calls are easier, but because AI already knows exactly who is ready to buy, sell, or move before they even pick up the phone. My guest today built that platform that makes that possible. Stay with me. Today, I'm sitting down with Addy Kim and Chris Dimitriou. I think I got it right. Co-founders of Homiere. Addy helped build a 7-figure real estate business, led an AI team at JP Morgan, and has been part of 2 tech acquisitions. Chris also worked at JP Morgan, did data for Nike, and is an MIT-trained PhD engineer with multiple patents out there. Gotta get a little bit busier there, Chris. Now they're helping to build the AI platform that real estate agents have been waiting for. Addy and Chris, welcome to the AI Advantage.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, so happy to have you. So in plain English, right, not the pitch deck version, what does Homiere actually do for a real estate agent?
Yeah, so Homiere, we use an AI and data platform to help real estate agents get more clients and close more deals. And really, when we dive into it, it's 3 layers. Number 1, we build you an AI online presence. So like think smarter website that shows up in the new era of AI search. Number 2, we help you find the right properties, whether they're on the market or off the market for your clients. And lastly, we help find your next clients by taking data and pulling out insights from it. So this is lead gen that's actually usable, whether you're an agent or a title rep or a lender.
This is so good. So let's start with the prospecting side first. So how do you know, you don't have a crystal ball back there or anything, but how do you know someone is high intent before they raise their hand?
Yeah, it's a great question. So really at the core of what Homiere does is we augment data and enrich it around properties and transactions that go on. And so we have historical kind of records and patterns around what kind of homeowners have sold or bought. And so we use that predictive power to then predict which homeowners are going to sell next or potentially buy a different property. And because we did this at scale, that's what allows us to not only analyze properties that are on the market, but also off the market.
Yeah, so like adding some color to that, there's like the 2 main components are really the breadth of the data that we have. So we source data from a large number of places that allow us to get a full picture of the specific instance. And then also the kind of specific models that we develop to make these types of predictions is what's made us pretty effective in that.
Tell me a little bit more about like massive amounts of data.
Yeah.
Like, because people are always like, how do they know? Is it purchasing, what they're searching, what they're posting on social?
Mm-hmm.
There's APIs in plain English.
Yeah, you know? It's like, yeah, you can think of it as kind of like pattern matching, right? So there's when people think about AI these days, they think about I go into ChatGPT and I talk to it, right? But like prior to the existence of ChatGPT, AI was actually a lot more in the space of pattern matching. So the idea is like you can collect enough data, like say you have a specific property you're wanting to analyze. The idea is you can collect enough data about that property over a large enough number of properties to then be able to like pattern match and say, okay, we've seen other properties go up for sale in this region in the past because of reason ABC. We see those same things coming up for this particular property. So you're really doing like a type of pattern matching in that case. That's kind of the key behind it, I'd say.
Yeah, like, and maybe some specific signals that you're looking for, JMan, or things like maybe there's a like property condition comes into play here, or maybe there's a financial distress signal with the property owner that comes into signal, or, equity, how much the homeowner owns in terms of equity, or the interest rate, so macro signals as well. They all get kind of combined into recognizing that pattern.
Yeah, and we pride ourselves on being pretty flexible of like what types of signals are you looking for and helping you pull those out of the data for the specific thing. So it's not necessarily just like trying to find your next lead of somebody who's thinking of moving. It's other things as well. So people are in the general kind of real estate space, like title agents or loan lenders, are also use our data for a number of things.
So when you talk about patterns, it could be something like, I have somebody that wants to live in this certain neighborhood, but houses haven't turned over in that neighborhood in a long time. But of all the people that live there, here's 5 people that have a huge amount of equity and they've been there a certain amount of time. So then like out of the 100 houses that might be there, then like those 5 are more likely because they have the ability to sell, number one. And then like you say, like its timing might be right. Like they're at that.
Yeah. And timing's a big part of it too. Like it's not just a static lay of the land. Like there are signals that pop up, right, that can be useful for our customers. Yeah.
And so on the flip side, if I have a client that's very specific, like they're like, oh, I want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, colonial with a big yard in this school district, how can you help? And I think almost all the markets of agents that I work with, we have a shortage of inventory. That's what we're looking for. That's very specific for that buyer we've been working with for 17 years. I mean, not that long, but for a long time.
Yeah.
How can you help me find that off market? Because we know what's in the MLS, we can search. But
yeah, great question. So this was actually how Homiere got started in the beginning. Was that we, for my separate real estate investment business, we wanted to be able to find properties better for us to flip or develop, and of course
find the deals.
Exactly, find the deals. And so what we have done is, because we have the enriched data around every property, for instance, where is the door orientation? Is it southwest, north? Does it have a pool? Does it not? When was the last time it was permitted? What was the property condition when it was last listed? We augment every property with this data, so anybody can come in and use just plain language to search up what they're looking for. And then it looks back at the using all the data that it has, it'll pinpoint, hey, here you go. Here are some properties that match exactly or close enough to the criteria that you're looking for.
So even, I'm kind of a nerd when you start mentioning these things, but if I was like, I want to have my coffee in the kitchen, in the great room with the, like, watching the sunrise and is like looking out my back window, then you could be like, okay, these houses face that direction and the orientation, and here's what the sunrise or sunset, if that person was that specific about something.
That one maybe not so much, because we might not know all the windows and where they are in the house.
But
and the
door, you could know,
but
like
yes,
you said, the door.
exactly.
If the door's facing east, then maybe then it's
exactly
setting in the west. Because I think also we hear with high net worth individuals, sometimes it's light coming in with artwork and things of that nature to be sure that doesn't get ruined.
Definitely.
So who would the ideal user be? Are we talking like team, brokerage, solo agent, investor, like you said?
So we were just talking about searching for homes, right? Like that's the kind of tool that is really useful in the hands of agents, because if you are a consumer, there's definitely platforms out there that you can use, right? But like our goal is to help provide agents tools that will set them apart, right? And convince folks to work with them. So being able to like search for very specific criteria very quickly and really understand details that you're not going to be able to understand using any of the consumer platforms that's one of the reasons why we think why we're convinced that agents use this tool and find value in it. But yeah, like things, for example, like investors are also interested in using it because we have such good data around things like property condition.
No.
Just historically, what's the type of work that's been done on the property? What's the development potential? That also is very useful for folks on the investor kind of side. Addy, other ones you'd want to highlight maybe, or yeah, okay.
So I'm curious with the investor side of things. You said like condition, and then like how do you where does that come from? I'm just curious because like I know I have investor clients I work with. What do? They drive around, they look for that house with the tall grass and the windows is it something that's on the record? And then like the improvements, is that from permits and things like that? Is that where you're?
Yeah, it's a combination of multiple different sources. So, satellite images, previous listing records, whether it's photos or public remarks, or even some cities, counties, they have code violations. So, and they can tell if the weeds are growing too long, all those different factors. So they come into play to determine the property condition.
That's good. I wondered if you had like just so many things, right? It's like you now with AI and what's happening, like you don't really need to leave the office or your house anymore. Like you have to get in the car and drive around.
Yeah, like that is actually a big reason why it's a lot easier for a small company like ours to get that kind of those insights, is because of the recent advancements in AI, where being able to like just intake all of that data and come up with a quick assessment is much, much easier now compared to like it was a few years ago. So, yeah.
So let me ask you this. If an agent is a skeptic, which most are, they're like, I don't know, you got to prove it to me, especially like I'm in New York, right? The New Yorkers are like, yeah, show me. I don't care what you say. But if they're a skeptic and they're like, I already have a CRM, I have a predictive dialer, I sit there with my headset all day and I just pound the phones. Why do I need this? Like, what's your honest answer for them?
If you're an agent that enjoys sitting down and pounding the CRM, definitely go for that. And if that works for you, that's amazing. But if you're an agent that maybe doesn't like doing the cold calls as much and wants to use AI to enhance the current process that you do, we're never trying to replace, enhance really is what we're going for, then give us a shot. Because essentially what we're doing is cutting down a lot of the brunt manual aspects of combing down essentially who are likely to sell and list with you, or what's a good deal opportunity for your buyers. And then so that just leaves you to a handful of properties or clients for you to reach out to, as opposed to hundreds or thousands of leads that you have to cold reach out to.
Yeah, and the other way I think about it is like we can integrate with like a lot of our customers, we integrate with their CRM. So it's like a layer underneath it that feeds in data that is useful for you and makes you more efficient in that pursuit of using those existing tools.
And that's, this is really touching, the question was touching upon more on like the lead gen side.
Yeah.
But also the other side of AI is nowadays everybody's searching with AI, whether it's Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatnot. And so online presence has become it's become more and more critical to be able to be searchable by AI. And so with the data that we have, with the AI, the models that we have started doing websites for agents in which they are AI searchable. And so it's really a whole end-to-end sort of process in which you become more searchable online. We also help you with lead if you want to be, proactive in reaching out to leads. And we also help you out with finding the right property.
Okay. So what I heard you say with the prospecting is you'll help them work smarter, right? Rather than calling every single person, you're calling the people that are more likely to convert. Is that right? Am I kind of summarizing that?
Exactly.
So that it's not like I'm not calling or even if I was a door knocker, which that's how I got started. Like I love door knocking because it's harder for people to say no to me face to face. But now I don't have to knock on every door. I just go to like the 5 or 10 doors that I think are more likely to, or based on the data that you're telling me are more likely to convert.
Exactly. Yeah. Imagine if you even had just 10 list of homes that are vacant. You can at least skip those doors and move on to the next one. Yeah.
And so you mentioned websites, and I think this is so important because on a weekly basis, I have agents contacting me like, I need a website, or they just have that. It's not really a website, right? It's like the agent portion of the brokerage website, right? It's XYZ broker / JMan. And I'm like, I got a website. I don't know if you do, right? You have a presence. So how does the AI work? Do you just kind of set it up? You kind of interview them and kind of get like what's their unique value, what they bring to, a little bit about them, their team. Is it like walk us through, like if I'm an agent, I signed up for Homiere, walk me through what happens next.
We pride ourselves on providing a really personalized experience with the website. So usually what we'll do is we'll sit down, we'll be like, hey, what are the key things that you need to hit and that it will drive value for you on your site. So if it's something like IDX and very compelling search, that's something we can definitely do for you. If it's something like making yourself discoverable, whether it's traditional SEO or getting more clicks through things like ChatGPT or Claude, we also work with you to do that. So people come to us with those all sorts of different requests, and so what we kind of pride ourselves on is being able to really accommodate a range of things and customize it for you. Like we've done, our designs are always different, so it's not going to look cookie cutter. So those are kind of the things that, and it's key because now in the age of AI, that kind of stuff is possible. So like it's really tailored to the things that you actually need. Is a key part of, I think, what we're offering that's differentiated.
Well, so many agents don't really know what they want from their website. Right?
Well, we hopefully can sit down and be like, hey, these are some things, right? It's just like a website, but
you mentioned some of that where it's like, do you want to be found? Do you want to be the local expert? Do you want people to use your site to search for properties? Which I think that might be one of the hardest. Like if I'm using one of the big portals, I don't want to give them any juice, but we know who they are. It's hard to get them to switch from that, but you still have to have that IDX feed on.
Right. Yeah.
On your site. Is there anything that you're seeing that's trending with the sites that or like with the agents? Like what's really?
Yeah. One of the things I think is being talked about a lot is this like transition from SEO to AO. So like it's, before everyone had to have their site optimized for search engines, right? For Google. And now it's like, well, people are just going on to ChatGPT and asking, who are some good realtors I should talk to in this particular area. So it's coming to not just optimizing to be found on Google, but to be found on a lot of like major AI platforms. So that's something that agents are definitely thinking about. I think nobody's quite cracked that nut though, in terms of like how to really solve that problem. Like there's a lot of guesses around, okay, we think this can work, we think this can work. We're always very upfront with our customers. We're like, hey, what we can do is continuously sort of evaluate the strategies that we're putting in place and quickly, flip switches, change things so that, if this isn't working, let's try something else, see if that starts to work. We're always there and trying to assess what strategies work really well. But definitely this sort of AO, answer engine optimization, is one thing that I think a lot of folks are trying to think about and solve at the moment. And we're working with folks to do that too. Yeah.
Well, and I think now in comparison to SEO, like SEO was a lot harder once you had it figured out, then it changed. Same thing with AEO, but at least you have the AI to consistently evaluate what's happening and make adjustments, right? And I like what you're saying, that you're going to be there where like some website companies like, your website's done.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah.
You want help? Another bill's coming.
Yeah.
Like, you don't worry, like they're more concerned with like charging you to do the things rather than like, let's make sure that this is really producing for you. And I think having a smart website is the future. I mean, everybody needs to. Quick shout out to one of our founding partners, Wise Agent. If you're in real estate and you're still juggling 5 different tools to manage your business, do yourself a favor. Wise Agent is the all-in-one CRM that helps you manage your contacts, automate your follow-up, and actually grow your business without the tech headache. Built-in texting, email marketing, landing pages, task management, and real support from people who understand this industry. Check them out at wiseagent.com. Link in the show notes, and tell them J Squared sent you. What does for an agent who's been using it, let's say I signed up, I'm doing it first 30 days. Like what what would I expect? What's in my inbox? Like you've mentioned, it's easy, zero learning curve, which means there's no curve at all. It's flat, right? It's just a flat plane. What do you actually handle like on the setup side for, so the agent doesn't have to, because let's be honest, most agents are not technical in the slightest, right? So how do you make that easy for them?
Yeah, so the first thing that we actually do in the first 30 days is get on a call with the client. So we're not an off the shelf, here's a product that we built out, go and use it, here's the login, and we'll talk to you. Never. We're not like that. We get on a call with you to actually understand what your goals are and what's your current bottleneck to being able to reach that goal. And again, that's when it comes into play, whether you want to be more online searchable, or you want more targeted leads, or you want more better deals, property deals. And so we'll talk through all of these different solutions that are really tailored and personalized to you.
Yeah.
And then after that initial convo is really Chris and I and the team, we get to configuring that solution for you. Of course, because of our, the foundational platform and the AI and the data skills that we have, we can do this at a much faster scale than just building a custom solution, out of from scratch. But we have a baseline. So we personalize that to your specific need. And then we essentially get on an onboarding call. So again, it's very, very personal and human to human, where we kind of walk them through, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
You are going to have to put in effort to work alongside this AI and this new solution, but there's not necessarily going to be a learning curve in the sense of like, in order for you to get a lead, click on this button, and here's the onboarding video and the tutorials. Watch these 20-minute, 5 different videos. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we always like to say sales is an action sport. So like they have to be involved with the process. And I think, but them being involved, it's not an easy solution, but it's simple, right? If they're involved and then you help them through that process, then the outcome is going to be that much better. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also like AI is like a new interface, but like if you can talk to people and tell your problems to people, that's not a new interface. Everybody can do that, right? So we try to leverage that as much as we can. Yeah. We'll tell the AI what to do. It's not the AI telling us what to do. Yeah. Yeah.
What pricing? Can like a solo agent afford this, or is this just more of a team? Like I have a power team, or like my broker needs to get it for me. Like, what are we talking?
Yeah, we can accommodate agents or brokers or teams of any size. Really, the pricing will depend on the specific need that you have. But Chris and I, we are a smaller company too. We are empathetic to folks that are wanting to grow in this space. So yeah, I say get on that first call, share with us what your goal is, what you need to do in order to reach that goal. And then we can talk through pricing that, makes sense for you.
Okay. And then another concern that I hear from agents, I'm a good listener, that I hear from agents is the data quality, right? Like the AI doesn't know my market's different.
Yeah.
How many times I've heard that? You don't know, you don't understand. The AI doesn't know my market as well as I do. How do you handle that?
Well, that's actually really our bread and butter. So even before Homiere, when we were at JP Morgan, the work that we were doing was augmenting data around stocks, publicly tradable equities, and being able to construct investment portfolios with it for clients. And now we're putting that rigor on real estate in that industry. And the agents that say my markets are different, they do have that makes sense. That is correct.
True.
But that's actually why exactly we connect to all of these different data sources that's assessor and city and county specific. So we're pulling in the data that is specific to that region and that market. Yeah, that's our bread and butter. Really, like if Chris and we could choose what we do all day, it would be getting more data and augmenting more data.
Making it better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely true that like there's the data is so different places, like the data can tell a different story. And that's like one of the things we love to do is to work with people and understand, okay, what is it? Because we're kind of curious about these things. We're like, well, what is it that makes, your particular region different? And can we then figure out like, okay, that's actually been bogging you down, right? And figure out a solution for that, because that just makes us also better, because like our coverage and understanding of all these like local idiosyncrasies, it becomes better and better. So we love those problems, is what I would say. Yeah.
And what's funny is that if you're watching this right now, you can see how much they light up when they talk about data. Chris and Addy, they're just like, data, and they smile. And
Yeah.
so like I'm describing it for those of you who are listening, like those are the kind of data people you want to get excited. Like, oh, quality of data.
Yeah.
I thought you'd never asked him.
Yeah. Yeah, we love it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's listening to this right now, they're on their way to driving to their showing or a listing, and they want to give Homiere a try, like what are their first 3 steps?
Yeah. So go to homiere.com. That's spelled HOMIERE. And you fill out the get started link. It's very simple. It's just a handful of questions around your name, your email, things like that. But as soon as you fill out that form, then we'll reach back out to you to schedule a meeting.
Okay, perfect. And it'll be in the show notes of the podcast, as well as the description on YouTube. But what's the single quickest win? Like most agents are results oriented. Like I signed up. Where's my deal? What am I? Hey, you know, like what's the first win that an agent can expect? I don't, we're not going to say that they sign up and they'll get a listing the next day, but let's talk about the wins. Like what could they expect right off the bat?
This may sound so over time. Yes, you will get a new client and you will find a property, a deal. You will over time. But if you're looking for an immediate win, you're gonna gain the trust and the advisory of some of the AI data experts, where we've been doing this across multiple different industries, and now we're putting that rigor to real estate. And we are going to be honest about what's working within your business, what isn't, and what is the best AI solution that is tailored for you to be able to reach your goals. Not just again out of the box solution for you, something that's very tailored. You will get that honest feedback from us, and that's that initial consultation. It's at no cost to you.
Yeah, so I think the biggest one is that you'll make a believer out of them.
Yes.
Right, and you'll make them love data almost as much as you.
And yeah, get folks to think about what is like bottlenecking me and slowing me down. Like we love to have those conversations with people. And even if like we don't, you don't decide to use us, then maybe like questions we ask might start getting you thinking about things and being like, hey, this is something I didn't really think about this, but maybe it might help my business, right? So that's probably be my answer for like what would be the initial sort of.
Yeah.
So then Addy, you said it, like down the road, like what are some of the mistakes that agents make when they first start in using this, like AI like this? I think we just mentioned it, expecting an immediate return, but like how should they use it in order to get the results that they're looking for?
Yeah, some of our best customers, the most successful clients that we have, use us and AI in general as a way to actually enhance them rather than replace them. Really, AI, it's not, well, maybe one day it will be, but at least for right now, it's not just a flip, a switch that you flip on and then
walk away.
It suddenly starts working. Yeah, magic for you. You actually need to take time to be the driver's seat, leveraging AI to enhance yourself and drive to your goals. So we would say like number one tip using AI is don't just sign up for something, do it and expect it to suddenly magically turn on, but you do actually need to take time.
Yeah, and I think like you're saying, work the system, if you will. It's more of a campaign because you're getting them so early on in the process. They haven't had that zero moment of truth yet where they're like, I'm gonna sell, but they're right before that and they're like, Chris, thanks for reaching out. I was thinking about it or something, right? I'm at that point. So is that kind of what the best advice? Like just create a campaign or stay in touch, depending on what side of it that, whether you're looking for properties as an investor It's a longer process. It's not an immediate return. So the mistake would be that they expect something to happen right away.
Exactly. It may take a few weeks, it may take up to a month, but it's an iterative process. Like AI is constantly changing. Properties that are on the market, off the market are constantly changing. So it's about really honing in and fine tuning the process that works for you.
Okay. And so if you could pick, I'm going to ask you both separately, if you could only pick one feature of Homiere for an agent who's just getting started, which one would it be?
Ooh, I have mine because I use it daily actually for my side real estate investment business. So as part of the supercharged home search, natural language, plain language search that we have, you can actually virtually ask any type of data-driven market insights questions about a place. So I could ask, hey, how did Pasadena, California's price per square foot increase from last quarter to this quarter? Or what was the average seller's concession in Irvine in 2025? Virtually any type of questions you can ask. And because it's hooked up to the data, it's going to, in an instant, calculate all of this number and then spit out a result for me. And so this really helps me and the clients, our customers, quickly analyze the industry, if they should buy or sell a house, at what price, how much after repair value can be, how much I could rent it out as short-term rental versus long-term rental, all of these sort of bespoke analysis. It's able to give you back very accurate responses because it's not hallucinating. It's actually hooked up to the data to accurately calculate it.
I love that. I have a follow-up with that, but I want to let Chris answer.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite features because we find it useful for a lot of the work we do internally. Like it's sort of like an entry point. It is on our platform, so it's like an AI agent which is hooked up to the data. And if you have questions about things, you can ask anything you want. It's really good at finding those answers. I think it's something that even I use internally all the time. The other thing I would say is probably we like to work with folks and define sort of a deal feed for them. So what are the custom attributes of properties that are either coming on the market or just are off the market. And we love to work with them to define the specific custom deal feed that they want so that they're getting kind of notifications about this stuff all the time. That, if it's a real estate agent representing an investor and they want specific types of properties or deals to come in to their inbox, then we customize those for them. So we've had some pretty good success helping folks with that. It helps, prevents them from having to sift through just, tons and tons of listing and data. And it uses the same thing Addy was talking about. It's just you have the same question. Is it a different question every time, or is it the same question you're asking every day? What's changed, right? So, yeah.
By the way, for what it's worth, that same deal feed, that's the same logic we use as the lead feed. So what is your target buyer or seller? And we just place that within your lead box. And so we can just send those leads straight to your CRM for that CRM to do its email campaigns and reach outs.
And so then my follow-up was, you spoke to it. So natural language, right? I think we kind of glossed over it. We should mention it more, how much easier it makes it, because we can speak. We can say what we want much better than we type what we want, right? I guess would be the easier way to say that. Can you just speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. So just imagine this podcast, as if you're talking to your friend, you can describe whatever it is that you want in a home, or you want to learn about the market, the industry, or the specific state or community that you're in. You just put that in, and then it's going to give you a response back. Again, back in plain language.
Oh, I was going to say an example maybe is clicking around on filters and downloading comps for a particular home. That can be kind of tedious because you're trying to think, okay, what are all the different things? But if you're able to just, say it in regular language, then stuff like that, and then iterate in that method, you have sort of an assistant that's just doing all that stuff for you. So, yeah.
Well, and you could create talking points. There's so much more, hey, I'm going to a barbecue this weekend and it's on the waterfront in 14612. I need some stats on waterfront homes selling in this area. Like, what's the average? What's the list price? So when somebody goes, "Oh, you're in real estate. How's the market?" I go, "Well, list price to sale price ratio." And like, dang, that guy is an expert. I'm like, well, I got this in my pocket. It's helping me.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a perfect example. Yeah.
That was kind of one of the original sort of motivations for, helping build tools for folks that come in, are in those stages. Like, here's how you can quickly get an answer to those things and don't have to actually click through an annoying UI to get all of that out. Yeah.
Well, and you're pulling it from the data, not from, like, if they're using ChatGPT and other things like that. It can be inaccurate. It can hallucinate. It's pulling it from Zillow or Homes and other places, right?
Yeah, they're not directly hooked up to the same data sources that we have access to. So it's supercharged. You could do some of the things on those platforms, but you're not going to get the holistic picture that you can get with ours. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you did mention a discount for listeners. If somebody's listening right now and they want to sign up, is there some kind of discount for AI Agent Advantage listeners and viewers?
Definitely. We so much appreciate you having you on the podcast and for the listeners attending today. So we just fill out that Get Started link, and when we get on the first call and really talk through what your needs are, we can definitely apply a discount.
Yeah, and I think there's where you heard about us from, and so we'll put that in the form, and we'll make sure to follow up.
Well, we appreciate that, and we don't ever try to leverage having folks on the podcast, you all know, but we want to help them grow because it's definitely a great platform. There's, we were referred to you by Subi, one of our founding partners that are sponsoring the podcast. But we always close out with a signature question. If you had one thing, just one, and this would be two different answers, which I love. I love that. Usually it's one person I have on, so this is perfect. But if you had one thing, one piece of advice to give to somebody who's just getting started with AI, right? Because I think a lot of our audience, that's why we do one tool, in greater detail. What's the one bit of advice that you would give them if they're getting started with AI?
Yeah, I would say, because I'm sure as humans, there's one thing that you have to do every day that you absolutely do not like doing. Find that thing and try to find an AI solution for it, because one, you'll be very motivated to find a solution for it. And two, once you realize how much that AI enhances you, you're going to go down the rabbit hole to find out how else you can make your life more efficient. So that's what I did with my life. And now I'm in this, rabbit hole of what else can I do?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Chris?
I think it would be like to think, it ties into what Addy's saying, but to spend some time just thinking on your own deeply about how you spend your day and your time. And like, if you're a small business, like most realtors are, like what is it? Spend time thinking about that. Spend time understanding where the opportunities are. And I feel like if you do that, then how to use AI will kind of just fall out from that. And yeah, like that sometimes that's, I guess, the hard work is thinking about your business. It's like easy to just go out and like look at all these different tools and everything, but like if you think about what you're doing on a day-to-day and how that can be made more optimize it more, then I think that can be pretty effective. So it's sort of a piggybacking on what Addy's saying, but make sure to spend the time thinking about it.
Yeah. So take your time, really think about I love what you said, bottlenecks, because we had somebody else on that said the same exact thing. What are the things that are keeping you from succeeding? Or like Addy said, things that you don't like doing. So if it's, I hate prospecting, I hate being rejected. Well, why don't we talk to more people that are likely to say yes, right? We're helping to eliminate that bottleneck. That's perfect. Okay. So where should listeners go to or viewers go to after this episode? Like, what's the one link they should go to?
Go to homiere.com, HOMIERE.com, and click on the Get Started link.
Okay. And are you on, because we'll be posting a lot of the shorts and stuff on Instagram. You're on Instagram at...
Oh, we're also on Instagram at HOMI ERE.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching and listening. If you got value from this, please do me a favor, share it with one agent who's still trying to figure out AI, just one. That's how we grow this thing. And subscribe if you haven't already. Next Friday, we'll be breaking down another amazing tool with some great guests you don't want to miss. And before I let you go, I want to say thank you to our founding partners, Wise Agent, Subi, and the CE Shop. They make this show possible, and they're building tools that actually help people in this industry. Check them out. All the links are in the show notes, and thank you for spending some time with me. We do not take that lightly. Now go make it happen.